got B Herd, Mr. Quasi himself in the house. Came through. We just got finished watching the semis of the Southern Scuffle, and now going back and watching, since these guys missed it, the Gomez Rome Bravo Young match, which was pretty crazy. I mean, Gomez has been on fire. Hey, Gomez beat your boy DeSanto.
Yeah.
Huh? Really?
He's not really my boy. I give Flo a hard time about him just for the heck of it, but
That's all in good fun.
yeah, I've never really been on the train. The jokes are annoying.
I don't mind DeSantos that much anymore. Last year I was a little mad with him.
Well, you were salty because they was
He's
What he
Kimura.
did to your boy.
Okay, well, the Kimura didn't bother you so much as Hui Kimura.
Yeah, that's what.
If it wasn't Michigan, like if it wasn't Michigan and
I
Michigan,
probably would have laughed.
you would have. You'd been like,
Yeah.
you probably would have critiqued the technique on
The
it
guy was
versus
a little
anything.
sloppy. You know, he probably could have done this.
Instead, you're like, he's dead to me.
We could have done it behind the dirt here. But
On how to do that right.
yeah,
Right.
here's how you really is the
So-
Kimura.
But puts him on his back here.
Oh.
Roman's got him in trouble. He's close to the phone. Could he get the pin in the first period? Now Gomez is gonna fight off. Oh.
Yeah,
That was a
so
mean bridge.
it was a mean bridge. So, you know, for those of you guys watching, yeah, forgive the bad radio because this match was a really good match. So we're watching that. But Gomez I gotta say, Gomez has been impressive. Like, tell you, he's looking good here in this tournament. Jokingly said it, but I mean, like, put DeSanto to his back in that duel. Like, went for broke for the win. You know, I mean, like, he's good. Do you want to sit in this chair? No, it's not a chair. But you can sit there. But, I mean, the dude goes for broke and, like,
Right.
gets after it. He's fun to watch.
Who,
You gotta-
RBY?
Huh?
RBY or Gomez?
Go back.
Gomez. I
Let's
mean,
throw
RBY.
both too.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give RBY credit for not necessarily be the first to do the cartwheel and stuff, but like,
Yeah.
I'm just glad that
Let's
he's
get
been able to
recognition for it.
recognition. Got
Yeah.
the, you know,
He was on
top
SportsCenter,
plays,
wasn't he?
Sports
Yeah.
Center. Yeah, you know, so you got to enjoy that. And as much as I hate to say it, Henry, is that good? Ah. Yes. So, but no, like, seriously, you wait till I speak each time? Yes, so lovely radio. The dog's coming in down too. But once they got Rome Bravo Young in the mix, like, knew he was good, but when he started doing the stuff he's doing, I was like, is Penn State a lock for NCAAs?
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, am I just, like, is it just absurd to even, like, say anybody else can catch him? Like,
Well, I mean, as we saw in the semis for this, you know,
For the scuffle.
Yeah, I mean, you look at majority of the guys are coming from Penn State
Yeah.
that
I mean-
are in these finals. I mean, you got Kassar in there and Neville's wasn't too far away.
good.
Then you got Bo Nickel.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, yes.
Sorry guys, I got distracted with it. But yeah, no, there's like Nolf, Vincenzo. I mean, Mark Hall.
I mean, this is what, 133. 25 is the only way where they're probably not gonna score. Boom! Woo! There it is. Watch. Is that a pin? It's about to be. There it is. Look
That
at
was
it.
nice. That was nice.
Oh, he got the pin, Henry, just like you said. Oh, he didn't hurt. He just told everybody to hush. Whew.
That was
Now,
that was nice.
That was
all right,
nice.
so check it though. So that's the end of that match. So you got Rome Bravo Young gets beat by Gomez. Who you got, Fix or Gomez?
Fix.
Fix.
Yeah, okay, so do I. Now,
I mean,
Fix and Rome Bravo Young, would that have been a matchup?
yeah, it would have been an exciting one. I still would have
Yeah,
Fix though.
Fix.
Yeah. So, I think Rome Bravo, All Americans, I think that just helps them out there. 25 is their question mark. I
Yeah.
mean, I just, as much as I wanted to initially in our beginning of the year stuff say, hey, Iowa could do it, but Iowa's not looking like Iowa
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
recently. Like, even Midland's Iowa put guys in the finals, but in all
Yeah,
honesty,
let's look at the Midland bracket.
I mean, in all honesty, the only guy that I thought looked outstanding for Iowa at Midlands was the Bull. Like, he goes down and beats Wick. You know, was it 4-2, 4-3, whatever he did over there? Henry! Okay, we'll take that out in the living room over here, okay? Come here. I'll get you set. No, you gotta do it over here. We're gonna record it on me. He's over here. Huh? Alright, let me get him set over here.
It's 2007. I don't care about 2007. Oh my god, let me see if I can find it up here. Now I'm gonna see if I can find the Midlands. Maybe. Yeah, here we are. Midlands Championships.
You checking it out? Yeah. But minus the Bull, like,
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa ran away with it, you know, I mean, as far as the team score and whatnot, but other than the Bull, though, I didn't see, like,
Yeah.
anybody looking like Iowa, and just outstanding, like, and I already had the Bull picked to beat Vincenzo in the finals, but,
Yeah.
like, I'm that much more sold on the Bull, so I'm happy for him, but everybody else, well, not everybody else, but we
Here
have
we
guys
are.
that,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, the obvious big one, we've already talked about this
Yeah.
summit practice and whatnot, is
Campbell.
Spencer Lee going down to Rivera. And
That was very big.
it was big. It was, the score was right that a lot of people had guessed, except
Yeah.
it was the other way around. Was
Right.
it 7-2, 7-3, something
Mhm.
like that? And
Wow.
Spencer Lee just did not look like he was shooting.
He was.
He did not look offensive. And I don't know
See,
how much more we can say. Like, before when he lost, or not lost, but before when he didn't look so good, we knew he was like coming off the flu or something like
Yeah.
that. But is it that? Is it Midlands? I mean, he lost to Oregon State dude last year at Midlands. What's
his name?
Not Bresser, but
No, Bresser.
is it Bresser?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it is Bresser. You know, so maybe Midlands is his year that he, you know, his tournament he doesn't do super well in.
This was one thing
He'll
I was
still come back and be.
interested in. Pantelio from Michigan. He dropped down to 49.
Yeah.
And he did not. I mean, he lost in the semis.
Yeah, lost in semis, but
There.
I mean, 49 was pretty stacked weight. Though.
Yeah, Klotix is he's a beast.
And then
I'm a
Max
big
Thompson,
fan.
you know, Northern Iowa. But I don't know. I was just like my thing with Spencer Lee though is like earlier on in the year, like I was like I thought he could go undefeated,
Me too.
and more so, I thought that he would go undefeated and at least major everybody he wrestled,
Yeah.
if not tech or pin everybody. I really thought he was gonna bonus everybody he wrestled,
Yeah.
and I was like, and then.
I wonder.
Spencer Lee's not doing Spencer Lee things. DeSanto wins at Midlands, but we saw he lost to Gomez earlier. We haven't seen Lugo for Iowa come out and do the things that they wanted him to do after him transferring in. You know, Mirren was interesting. You know, some of their upper weight guys too. They were just like, I don't know. Iowa wasn't the Iowa that I thought they were going to be at the very beginning of the year.
Right.
You know, where I was like, hey. I'm always kind of like that outside shot thing. Like, hey, Iowa could have been that team to take out,
Right.
you know, Penn State this year. And then after that, then I was like, okay. And then after watching Oklahoma State yesterday, and part of today, I was like, hey, maybe Oklahoma State's the team that could give Penn State a run.
I think the thing
But
with
then
Penn
you
State,
look at
though,
the number score of just the scuffle league. I'm like,
yeah, they have so many guys back to back to back, and
it's weird. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, because like other teams, like Penn State's pretty stacked. I mean, especially on their lower weights. I mean, they got a lot of guys, but I really thought it'd be a little bit closer right now, even going in the finals of the scuffle, and then it's not. Like, well, I mean, it is, but it isn't.
yeah, right.
But I'm like, man, what does somebody have to do to take Penn State out?
I don't. Who knows? I mean, Penn State's loaded. Iowa. And
I mean, is it a matter of like setting up recruiting classes for the next 3 years or something? Like,
I guess.
getting all your chips to fall and like your recruiting classes have to be perfect. Like, this is the team 3 years from now that we get, you know, like Dayton Fix at 33, some other new
Yeah.
studs coming up, you know,
Yeah.
like, and like line them up that way. I mean, like, is there something else you can do there? I don't know. That's crazy.
No, I mean, but and that's one team that I'm sure you're happy to see is Okie State has got a lot of guys. Especially, I mean, the way they're showing at the scuffle right now, they look impressive.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, but I'm with you. I think at the beginning of the year we both had Iowa picked to do a lot better than what they are. Not saying that they're doing bad, but I mean, especially with Lee, like Spencer
Yeah.
Lee, you're starting to see him kind of look more human.
I think he'll make a run and
Yeah,
go
he'll
back to his unhuman form.
Yeah,
But
recently he's been, and that could be. A lot
it's
of
just
different
interesting
things.
looking, like you said. You got it pulled up if you're looking at Penn State #1, Okie State moving up to #2. But one that we haven't even talked about was like, and I really thought they wouldn't be 3. Is Ohio State's at 3 right now?
Yeah.
Like I really thought it'd be
Well,
Penn,
I've got it for dual meets. I can look up
Oklahoma and
tournaments.
Iowa. I figured those would be the top 3, and I figured Ohio State would be lucky to push the top 5. But
Right.
Okay, I'm surprised. Apparently, Ohio State's the second best tournament team.
you know, but then again, we also haven't seen them in very many tournaments
No.
lately either. So hard to say. Check out the Flow Arena thing again. Let's see if they got the updated team score. It's right there on the other tab. So
What other tab?
straight up, Flow area.
Oh, there we are.
Teams and competitors. Top right hand here, right there.
There we are.
Like 171 to 158 points. You know,
Iowa State's at 95, which is way behind Okie State too.
158. So basically 171 to or 170 to 160. That's a 10-point differential. I mean, that's not to say that it couldn't happen, but
Yeah.
man, you're asking for a lot of losses
Yeah.
from Penn State, from a lot of guys who
Don't lose.
don't make
They don't-
flukish mistakes
yeah.
either. And can it happen to one? Yeah.
It can,
But does it happen to 3 or 4 that you needed to happen? And that's what I'm saying. Like, is Penn State that far ahead of everybody else? That
Yeah.
It's
yes.
that hard to. It's
Yeah.
and then it's like foolish to choose against them every year in like the brackets that I do and stuff. And I've gotten you doing the last couple of years. Like, I'll pick like last year I had Ohio State, which wasn't that big of a.
It wasn't.
That very well could happen. But last couple of years, I'm like I've always had it happen. Like if I get 1 or 2 of these right, all I need is 1.
Yeah.
And somebody else wins, that'll win me the bracket. Or I can go conservative and pick Penn State and like go that way and try to win it that way. But I always kind of go for that like
Yeah.
that fun excitement draw thing of what can happen, or that's what you want to do. Which one of the kids is there? So, but I don't know. You want the little keyboard? All right, you gonna take off for that? All right, wouldn't be an episode here at the house at the compound without one of the kids, if not 2 or 3, coming in. You want to sit down? You trying to boot me out of my seat? All right, so future host.
This is not seat.
It's not a seat. So we got our future host, multiple time, I guess, guest was one of the kids here. But one of the things we're going to say is like, hey, today marks the anniversary of our first episode coming out.
It's officially
Yeah.
1 year old.
Oh,
Officially
nice.
1 year. So 1 year out. Done a lot of different
I didn't know
things.
that.
I don't know if you've got a chance to listen to many of the new episodes on Anchor. Did you notice like the little advertisements they have in
Yeah.
the beginning and stuff like that? So Anchor, are you trying to show them that, Henry? Anchor, again, the little sales pitch has gone above and beyond, and they've got some other different little things and little sponsorships and filming little mini commercials for things that you can put on there, which has really been kind of cool. Just things that we didn't think about from the get go, of like sponsorships and other things like that in that way. Minus like we got our sponsor with Roll Soap with Jeremiah with Fractal BJJ. I mean, I still got to get my order in. I got to get some more soap. For those of you listening, 10% off Cerebrus Wrestling. Throw that in there. It was our first sponsor, but Anchor making things easy with some other things like that.
Now,
It's kinda-
don't they kind of like search for sponsors now too?
Yeah, and I actually just recorded another one. It was like an apparel one for like the online shop, and I actually got on and it's like I forget what it is, Shoppies or something like that. And I
Yeah.
actually looked at it and can set up like an online store and stuff. So it's kind of cool. So it's kind of interesting how this thing of
Go.
us talking about wrestling and just recording it has turned into something that I'm not saying it's like a future business sense, all that, but like you can see where people can do this, and with the followings and all that, you
Right.
can become I don't know if I want to say successful, like as far as like
Yeah.
standalone-ish, but I guess it could eventually head that way. I mean,
Bro.
we always talked about like
Bro.
what we want to do and head on with our compound and practices and and doing things, and how cool all that would be to eventually do that. And
Set up our own little. I think we mentioned it. Setting up our own little network too.
yeah, the network, you know, like I said, which is kind of cool to have everybody here because we got the T Curry show.
Speaking of that
And we
network,
got Be Heard. Yeah.
I talked to you when we were all here about something Brandon mentioned to me. The guy I train with.
Okay.
It's a production thing. So just when we go off here, I don't want to like jinx it or
Spoil.
anything. Yeah.
All right.
Because it's actually a pretty cool idea. What he has in mind.
So it's just really kind of neat to see that, like, the little show that we start off with just like us talking to sound like, hey, every time we talk about something, we say our phone's bugged because it's on somebody else's podcast, another show, we see it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to become what it is now, where we've got the ability to have those little sponsors, those little things on there. We had people that, like I said, that new intro that I put on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So those of you listening, go check out the YouTube page, you know, Cerebrus Wrestling Podcast on YouTube, and check out the new intro. I mean, just going to check out the new intro alone is worthwhile.
Yeah. I agree.
It's also fun to watch because, you know, yes, we're just regular people doing this, obviously. We have special guests that show up that aren't just Quasi, and they're kind of humorous to watch as well, as he is making faces at the screen because he sees himself up there right now. So it's entertainment in that sense as well. You know, he just likes to be a part of things, and, you know, again, it just, I think, goes to the authenticity of what we are. We're just a couple coaches, the whole lot of us, talking wrestling, getting together, eating wings, watching the stuff.
Which is exactly what we were just doing.
Yeah, literally, we were eating wings and watching the semis, you know, on Flow, the Southern Scuffle. I don't know if there's, not trying to brag about it, but, like, say, it's about as real as it gets.
Yeah.
As far as authenticity of some people that are just truly fans of the sport.
I have to watch out with that saying though, because the UFC might hit us with a copyright.
What is the UFC got?
As real as it gets, or it used to be like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. It used
Oh,
to be
for
as
their
a
fighting
UFC,
thing? Was that one of their?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a little bit.
like the Ultimate Fighting Championship is as real as it gets.
Okay.
So,
Well, I think they've gotten away from that, and you know, we were just talking about us for it anyway.
Yeah.
And then even if they did, you know, hey, that's publicity for us
Because
because we
they're
were like,
watching. They're watching.
yeah,
could have a
that means
rivalry
somebody's
with
watching.
UFC.
Yeah, rivaling with UFC, which I wouldn't mind rivaling with UFC just because I'm still upset about the whole
flyweight.
dropping of the flyweight
Yeah.
division.
Maybe we
So,
could
you
wrestle
know,
Ben Askren.
And then have a flyweight title fight, and if
Yeah.
Cejudo wins, then what?
Yeah. Then
Did,
what?
did
What
I
are you gonna
tell,
do?
did he ever tell you what I said? Like, if I was Cejudo, and like it goes against everything wrestling wise, but I wouldn't make weight. Would I would be like,
Why not?
What are you
yeah,
gonna do?
you
Strip
know,
me of my title that's
it's
gonna be
bingo.
gone anyway?
Yeah,
Like,
you're getting rid of this title after this anyway. Why am I gonna make this harder on myself? He's cutting like
It makes sense.
Like,
I wanna make it
just
easy
kind
for
of one
me.
last little
Yeah.
to the UFC of like,
Just miss weight. That makes sense.
you know, like
I
I
didn't
just
think
wouldn't
about
make
it.
weight for. I'd come in 10 pounds heavy. I was like, I thought we were going for the weight class.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's for the flyweight title? I thought you got rid of the division.
You
What
got rid-
sense does that make?
You want me to make weight for a division you don't even have anymore?
That makes
I thought I
sense.
should be weighing at 135. Like,
Yeah.
you
Dana,
know.
this doesn't make sense.
So UFC. I mean, now I've listened to you guys talk about UFC a good bit on Tyler's show, which, like I said, Quasi's kind of become a staple as far as a co-host
He's like the
on that.
co-host pretty much now.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. So you know, it's
Speaking
kind of
of
neat to
that,
have.
we haven't done it in a while.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
I've been needing to. I've been like between school and all that
Yeah,
good stuff.
same.
I've like put it on the. I don't want to say put it on the back burner. It's just I've been doing other things and I haven't been recording as much.
Yeah.
But I recorded the other week or last week with Andrew before he left for Orlando again.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which for those of
I'm
y'all,
about a little bit more than halfway through that
Yeah.
episode.
he's a friend of mine. He works for NXT for the ring crew and all that. Gets to meet some cool people. So met Triple H and
Solid.
Shawn Michaels. Said Shawn Michaels is exactly how you see him on TV, which made me happy.
With just like kind of
Goofy and
goofy country.
Yeah,
But
I
still
can
into yeah.
I
yeah.
can
It's like
imagine.
really like him and Triple H apparently really have that. Which I mean, everyone knows that they're really good friends, but like their friendship you see on TV is just the same, and
Yeah.
if you saw them off camera, which is cool to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, I don't know.
Fake, but
Yeah, I mean, well,
love to
it's
have some authenticity there.
yeah. So, but like I said, it's been kind of cool to listen to you guys talk about because I know you guys both like. I mean, I enjoy the UFC as well. I don't watch it as.
I knew he was
He's gonna hit that door as soon as we did that. Yeah. All right, relax, Henry. Okay. as Quasi uses the term purist quite frequently. So I can't say I'm as much of a purist as I think at one time I might have been a purist with UFC, but so many. It's just like anything else, really. With so many names and so many things, like
Definitely.
I almost kind of got.
It's like drinking through a fire hose.
I got oversaturated with everything.
Yeah.
Like I kind of preferred it when it seemed like we talked about it. Like when they have like.
By the way, that's a
they
plastic axe. That's not.
Oh,
a
yeah,
real
yeah,
one.
yeah.
We don't want y'all to think like we've murdered people in here.
Yeah. So well we might have, but no when they
He's
had.
about to murder me with it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what he's gonna do. When
That's
they
what we-
had
that's what we use for people who
fewer
reach
pay per
back.
views, like I enjoyed it when they had fewer pay per views and more
Yeah.
like the Friday night fights, and
Yeah.
you know it kind of made it easier to follow because you didn't have to pay to follow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
And now
I
you have
think
the whole ESPN Plus thing. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
So the
Load of
ESPN
crap.
Plus, now that they've gone to ESPN, they're gonna have cards specifically on ESPN Plus. It's a
Yes.
subscription.
Instead of
So
the fight
another
nights-
subscription.
Yeah.
So instead of the
I didn't
fight
even know they
nights
had
that
fight
they
night,
would
yeah.
that they would do,
All right.
that
As
were free.
much as it's weird as it is to say, like for some people think it's weird to say, but the successful model is the WWE.
The network.
Yeah.
The network
The
system.
network is beautiful.
And or even without the network, the whole like having things on TV,
Yeah.
free to watch, and then you have a couple big shows,
Yeah.
you know, throughout.
Well, see, it's
and that's
thing
the way
is
you
like,
can follow it, so that you really felt like if I'm paying for a pay per view, I'm paying for
Well,
an event. I'm paying for that thing. Whereas now it's
they
like
have the big money names on there. Though.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like whereas on WWE,
you get to see everybody.
any given
Henry.
Tuesday or Monday or Tuesday and see the same people that you'll see on the pay per view.
Yeah.
And then you
And-
also get
Well,
the
I think-
exclusive shows and all.
Yeah.
But for like UFC, if you get Fight Pass, what do you get? You get to watch
The
three.
Fight Pass is nothing,
three
really.
Yeah,
fight.
it's-
I mean,
three
what I enjoyed about
prelims
the
of people
fight
you don't
nights
know.
before was it was kind of like watching, and you got to pick people that you liked, and you got to see all
Yeah.
these people on the fight nights for
Right.
free. And then when they got to that card, you're like, dude,
Yeah.
I've been following this guy
This guy since
for instance, whenever. And also maybe it's because they had less people.
Right.
But you follow those guys and you wanted to see them fight. Now it's like to get a pay per view card, you almost have to be a quasi purist. You know, you have to follow these guys and know all of them
Right.
like you guys do. Like, and now granted, I get like you guys have an awesome setup where you guys go to B Dubs and watch it, so it's not like you actually have to pay for it each and every time. You know, because that would get absurd, and that's
Which
the other
last
one.
time, did you see my snap? They ran out of weight. They ran out of chicken.
They ran out of chicken.
I
At
thought they
Buffalo
closed it down
Wild
because
Wings.
the ice was the last.
Well, that
time.
was the last time. No, this
So
was
the
this
last,
week.
so the time before they closed it
last
because of the
week
ice.
Was the ice,
And like-
and this we went last Saturday.
Yeah, and before they even said us, they're like, guys, just so you know, if you're here for wings, we don't have any. I was like, wait,
the name
what?
of your place is.
Wild Wings.
This is what
I like. Part of me was sitting here thinking, I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, you want to drive to Greenville to that one or Quaker Steak? Because Quaker Steak chose them.
Yeah, I like
And-
Quaker Steak.
Yeah, I like Quaker Steak. We used to go there before Jared's fights.
Yeah, when we would get-
If
roll up
only TNT had a place to sit down and watch them, I'd be there all the time.
Yeah.
I'd probably be like 40 pounds heavier too, but
Mhm.
it's beside the point.
Yeah, definitely beside the point. But
If they wanna sponsor us,
they
just saying.
just UFC they
I don't like the business
they
model
cater
that
to
they're following.
casuals. Yeah, they
Yeah.
cater
You know?
to casuals.
Well, not even really. They're not even really catering to casuals.
They do. They do.
I'm the
This is what
casual.
you- this is what you've been
Get
waiting
this-
for.
I'm the casual. They don't cater to me.
Well,
If
the
they
reason-
cater to the casual, they would have the setup of like, hey, here are the shows that the casual people can watch,
Well-
and then we'll take the people that whose name has gotten big from this, and we'll put those people's name on this card, and the casual can go
Yeah.
say, yay, I want to see so and so because I've been watching them for
Well,
free.
the reason I say they cater to casuals is because if we know that Conor McGregor is going to be on this card, then that's who the people are going to come out of pocket for.
Mhm.
They want to see Conor McGregor. So if you put Conor McGregor over here on these cards,
That's because but the thing is,
it
like, he's
takes
already
away
established
from
his
his-
name,
yeah,
so he doesn't have to do anything else. The UFC doesn't have to do anything else.
that's
with
what
him.
makes the people casuals though, because he's not an up and comer.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if in 2018 I'm a Penn State
Now,
wrestling fan, Alabama.
whereas
football,
I disagree and I agree with you to this extent. I think that the UFC doesn't cater to the casuals in the sense that there's so many fighters out there, and that their business model is one that they're just going to put everything on pay-per-views. So the only people that really know who's on there are the peers.
Right.
Okay.
I guess.
So that's where I think that they're not catering to the casuals. But on the flip side, what they're doing is they're just running a business. The casuals run 85%. If they only people that bought tickets were the peers, they would lose and go bankrupt.
Eventually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have to cater to the casuals in the sense of like who you're gonna hype and putting those few people up there on there so that you sell and you make money. That's just the business sense of it. Like, you know, they've got to do that. If you have an opportunity to advertise toward a 15% or advertise toward an 85%, which one do you advertise toward?
Well, you definitely advertise towards the 85%, but the problem is it's not like WWE. In WWE, they can perform.
Well, that's why I said WWE is the appropriate business model. But I want to hear your thing here.
I'm saying in WWE, they perform weekly, like several times a week, whereas in UFC, you're not fighting.
No.
You fight three times a year, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're an undercard dude.
Yeah, and if you're Donald Cerrone, you fight maybe 12 times a year.
Yeah.
Because he fights
Well, he's
every
the
day.
exception. Yeah.
Yeah. But so do I think they should have something like the WWE Network? Yeah. They should.
Put the Ultimate Fighter on it, because honestly, the Ultimate Fighter is awful.
Has gone downhill
Oh,
too
it's
from what it
awful.
used to
Like,
be.
no one even
and see, that's the
watches
thing.
anymore.
When I used to watch, like, when I used to watch UFC, it used to be me and my brother-in-law. We'd get together. We'd watch the Ultimate Fighter. We'd watch the house like on a a Tuesday night or something.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
And then on a Friday night, we would watch the Friday night fights because those weren't even like every Friday. They're like, you know, we'd watch the Ultimate Fighter Friday night, and then they'd have them one where they would combine the two and like, hey, the Ultimate Fighter finale would be on the fight night thing, and it would still be free, you know, and like, or maybe that might have been like the
they
card.
Still do.
You can
I mean,
do
they
that
still do it, but it's just
But
you've had
you
so many
don't
different
follow
episodes.
it. You can't
No,
follow
because
it.
they've had 20-something seasons. They've run through that model so much. That's why you've had different gym. They've done it where it's gym versus gym. They've had it where it's a country versus country. Then you
and
have
I think
them
those
that's
are
like-
good ideas to do to change it up.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but
they
it should be
wait.
executed better.
They waited way too long to do it.
Yeah.
That was the problem. They waited until no one cared, because after that, you couldn't tell me who won the Ultimate Fighter. Past couple years.
My problem is what I think they did was, as much as yes, you still advertise toward casuals because that's your business model, you've almost not given the casual fan a way to watch it without always having to do a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I mean, like, is there really much of a way to watch the UFC without doing pay-per-view anymore?
No.
No, and
that's the
unless
problem.
you're watching like really old
stuff. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like, and that's
yeah.
where I think I fell off as far as like that fan, minus following, you know, Justin and a few of the fighters that still had that overlap name. Like, I don't get a chance to watch all the up and comers because I'm not getting a UFC Fight Pass to watch 3 Facebook videos.
And then that's it. And you pay $10 a month for it.
And
half
then
the time you don't even watch it.
You don't even get a discount on the card or anything.
See,
you know?
for like WWE, if you pay $9.99, you get the pay-per-view, you get the exclusive shows, you get the vault. UFC, you get 3 fights, and sometimes those fights are like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And you don't want to wake up at 3 a.m. to watch fights,
watch
honestly.
fights.
I mean, I
So,
know I don't.
My big kicker with the UFC is that the fact that I haven't been able to follow it like a casual fan should want to be able to follow. Like,
Yeah, that makes
follow
sense.
things and you know like follow names. Like all the new names. Like I hear you guys talk about the new names. Some I'm like, hey, maybe I'll go check this dude out. One, I want to check him out
Like
because he
Stylebender.
hates him, and you know he doesn't want him to be fighting because
It reminds me a lot of wrestling. Like wrestling, you almost have to work to be a fan, almost.
To an extent,
to an extent.
but like I said, but the WWE had which wrestling are we talking about? Like
This wrestling.
okay,
Like
you do
Southern
you
stuff,
do have to be you do have to work to be a fan of wrestling, but it's gotten so much easier.
Yes, it
Like
has.
the stuff that is out there, us being able to get together here and watch the Southern Scuffle is awesome. We were just talking about it earlier, and my only thing with Flow, and it's not really a thing with Flow, it's they're actually smarter than everybody else, I guess, and is the fact that like unfortunately I can't share my password to Flow with everybody because it kicks everybody else off once. It is literally a one device thing,
Right.
and they're smarter than all the other things. Now what I wish they maybe did is maybe something like Netflix. Your subscription comes with 2 computer usages. That way, because even just even without doing what they don't want you to do, like sharing it with somebody, dude, wouldn't it be cool for us to play the finals over there
Yeah.
and have the two, and put on the computer over here the
Right.
constellations
Mhm.
and have them full screened out that way,
Right.
or like their thing has, when you're watching 8 mats, you can have 2 mats going. Well, daggum, if I could put it on 2 computers, I can see 4 mats
Right.
going. You know what I mean?
See,
Honestly, it sounds stupid, but well, it doesn't really sound stupid. But it's kind of that's where I think ESPN does it better during NCAA times. If you get on ESPN, I think ESPN3, which is the website.
Yeah, you can.
all
I
you-
can
yeah,
put
you
in.
can
I
pull
can
up
put on
every
2,
single mat,
and I can set up the 2 computers, and I can get like 4 screens here, 4 screens on
Yeah.
the ESPN thing.
and then throw
And
them
that's
off outside.
and that's not really like a complaint against it. I just wish that like with the subscription at
Yeah.
least there were 2 computer usages,
Yeah.
so that I could
Yeah.
throw more screens up.
Well, especially
Um,
because these tournaments, you can't. I
the
mean, you have
tournaments are
so
hard.
many mats, and
Yeah.
you want to watch
There's
so many
so
different
many
guys.
matches,
and
and
they-
also with
they
like
happen around the same time.
Yeah, so
around
it's
the
like
same
if
time.
you want to watch Hayden Hidley and then you want to watch Nolf on this, it's like, you're gonna have to pick which one
yeah,
you
am I
want
going
to
back?
watch.
Now they do have their little flow zone, which is what we had over there, where
Yeah,
you can't
where-
split the
right.
screen and show different things.
Right.
Where they pick, but sometimes they're not going to pick, as much as they should be. They're not going to pick the Chattanooga match for every time for their flow zone.
Right.
So I got to go find Mat 3 to get. And today it was awesome because Alonzo Allen was kicking butt, and then Mat 2, like the camera person, because they were waiting, like
Chat.
threw it over there on their thing, But
Right.
it's
Y'all
not
got
always
12 overall.
Yeah, so far, and we still got 2 guys going in, so we got a chance for
So
maybe.
y'all are halfway. Oh man, y'all are above Pitt, North Carolina, NC State.
Gardner Webb. See, that's what Mark said.
Mark was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. I was like, yeah, no, not happening this time, buddy. I mean, we're ahead of Virginia Tech. I mean,
Mark
check
is
that
a
out.
trip, man.
Now Virginia Tech has more possibility to score points here coming up. But, all that being said, it'd just be nice to have it accessible on more than one screen. Would be nice. Also, even with like duels, like you have to work to be a wrestling fan, like you just said.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like with all the ease of it, it could make it just a little bit easier. Cause like if I want to watch 2 duels going on, and like let's be real, we all have lives, and sometimes we have to watch them later or something. It'd be cool if I could play 2 duels at the same time, and they
Right.
just watch with
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
again the same thing, like 2
Yes.
different feeds going on at the same time to kind of nerd out and catch myself up on it, and I think it's getting so much better. It's getting so that yes, we still have to work for it, but it is a whole lot easier to work for it. But I think we were going back to like the UFC model. Like they make it almost impossible to work for it. Like without like this is a yearly subscription. I don't mind that.
Right.
Their yearly subscription is not helping the casual fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helps the purist fan. Like as far as like
Nah,
What
it
you
doesn't.
watching?
It does
No.
not.
Because the
All
only
it,
thing
all
that
it
does-
gives you is like old matchups, and
Yeah.
honestly, it's
Yeah.
like how many times. And this is gonna sound kind of dumb, but how many fights can you think of in the UFC
Which
that
fight
has
is-
good playback ability?
Yeah.
I can think of Stephen Bonner, Forrest Griffin, what's his-
Robbie Lawler and
Lawler,
Rory McDonald.
Rory McDonald. Then you had Clay Guida, and who did he fight that one time? But it's like
oh,
how
oh,
often?
Oh, that was
Yeah.
the night Sanchez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That fight when those 2 were just haymaking it.
I mean, it's one of
Yes.
those things that, like, how often are you going to go back and rewatch a
But
fight?
here's
Well,
the other
yeah,
thing. Here's the other thing. Check this out though. The names that you mostly mentioned
Yeah.
were back when people could watch and become
Yeah.
fans of those people.
I mean, because
Yeah.
a lot of people they don't.
We don't have
they-
that ability to watch those people for free in that
Right.
way anymore.
When they
So we
think
don't-
about UFC, they think, oh, just 2 guys. They don't understand the arts of it, and
Mhm.
so it's if you don't understand the arts of it, it's not going to be even interesting for you to go back and watch most of the time.
Yeah,
So
unless
that's
you're a
what I
fan
think.
of that person.
Yeah.
And like I said, they make it hard to be a fan of certain
It's
people
just-
because
yeah.
the only time you get to see these people is on the pay-per-views
Yeah.
that they choose who's on these pay-per-views, and we haven't been able to watch these people come up and do things.
See, because I remember like the UFC used to replay cards, and they don't
Yeah,
really do that
they
anymore.
don't
Like,
do
They
I
don't.
remember I'd wake up on Saturdays, Spike
Yeah.
would have like
Spike would
because I
have
remember that's when
That was the
The
other thing,
rerun
yes,
of-
the,
of a card, especially
Yeah.
if that person is about to fight sometime soon.
because I remember they had Anderson Silva
You
and
used
Chris
to be able-
Lehman, and
yeah.
I was like, oh, cool, I get to
I get to
rewatch. I
rewatch
can catch up
this,
on Anderson
or-
Silva fights.
You
If
know, it
I've
was
never
kind of-
seen this,
And that was the other thing, like, it was before, like, as the casual fan of, like, hey, maybe I didn't want to get that pay-per-view because it only had one person on there and I spend the money. We'll just watch the free Friday night fight and
Yeah.
come over. And then
Yeah.
that fight would replay and you're like, dude, I finally got to see that card. I didn't realize so-and-so
Yeah.
third match in was a killer match, and like it gave you a reason to rewatch something.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like all or nothing on their pay-per-views.
And see,
and that
it's-
kind of it bums me out a little
What
bit.
really
so.
that's what I loved about the WEC is they had one pay per view and it was the very last one that the UFC bought them out on. But the
Oh,
WEC,
WEC, yes,
it
that
was
WEC
always
was
on.
fantastic.
That was the only
Yeah.
that was my first. In all honesty, that was like the first pay-per-view I bought. Like my brother-in-law
It
at
was
my
the
house,
only
like
one
we
they
watched.
had, too.
Yeah, and I was
Everything was always
Showtime
free.
Tennis, the Kick Around the
Yeah,
World, was on that and everything.
Everything was always free. They had a cool look. Everything was
Yeah.
blue. But you had the lightweight guys. They were giving them shine.
Yeah.
I think they. I forgot what weight class they cut it off for WEC. I think maybe
55.
55. I think. Was
Yeah,
the-
it was kind of like the UFC lightweight division.
Yeah, basically.
That's what it was.
But
yeah.
it's like you got to see different guys. They were all exciting. They had a cool
I mean, 'cause-
feel. Like
Yeah, guys
It was
like Favor.
yeah, it was Dominic Cruz,
Mike
DJ,
Brown when
Mike
he was
Brown,
on
Jens
Gigolo.
Pol- Jens Pulver.
Jens Pulver.
It was just as big as the UFC, but it was
Yeah.
free. What it reminded me a lot of was kind of like in the '90s you had WWF and then you had WCW.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like you had an alternative.
Yeah.
You know, it's no longer like you go down the road and it's all McDonald's down the road. It's like you had a Wendy's, now you have a Panera, now you have a Subway. It gives you variety, and that's what I'm super pumped about. Like ONE FC and Bellator starting to come, which Bellator's been here, but ONE FC's coming to America, and
Mhm.
they're trying to get a new market. Like they've got Eddie Alvarez, they've got
Right.
Misha Tate as their VP.
Yeah.
And all you have to do, this is what's even better about ONE FC, you get the free app. You just download a free app. You get free access to all the fights, all the pay-per-views.
Oh,
By
I
just
didn't know that.
downloading an
Thank
app.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you have to
I
do
did
is,
not know
and
this.
then you can watch their fights because
And
they're
see-
in Singapore.
Yeah.
We can't watch live stuff in Singapore, so what
Yeah.
do? Download an app, get all access.
Cool.
You know,
I'll do that as soon as I
and-
get to work.
As soon as I get to work. I'm not
As soon as
gonna
I get to
work
work.
I'm just gonna watch
As soon as
those
I'm
fights.
working, once I'm on the clock, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Because
wait
as
a-
mad as
I'm
this makes
serious,
me,
man. I sit in the.
That's
I sit in
how-
the cash office.
that's how Brendan Schaub started watching some of Askren's fights.
Nice.
And I'm like,
Oh, we're showing that.
now
Now-
you should know about
I'm
him.
such a fan of him now.
Who? Askren?
Schaub.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I love
Schaub.
Schaub.
Yeah.
I love him. I love him.
Yeah.
Now, and see, that's the other thing. Like, it's kind of a weird thing, like having access to things and like being able to download it for free and do
Yeah.
things. And
Like this podcast.
yes, like our podcast, free. Hey, download
Good
whichever
plug, right
podcast app you're using,
Yeah.
and hey, Cerebrus Wrestling Podcast. Give us a listen, give us a follow,
That was
like us.
that
Whatever
was
you
a
want to do.
natural, shameless plug.
That was
Nice.
a thing of beauty. I like that one. Yes. But what I was gonna say though is like, I enjoy the free things,
Yeah.
but at the same time though, like, with wrestling,
Yeah.
NCAA wrestling and whatnot, and Flow and everything, I don't mind paying a subscription for something to like Flow
Yeah.
when it works. Like
Yeah.
Flow, I think works.
Yeah.
This is good. UFC Fight Pass does not work. It's not giving you anything.
No.
Like, and this also, like, it's giving us access to things, and there's a whole world of, like I said, we had to work for, like, you can look up the Southern Conference Network, you can look up some of the other networks, the Big Ten, if you have, like, a cable
Yeah.
provider or a friend whose brother might, never mind. But if you got all that kind of stuff on there, you can find access to it, and I don't mind free things like anybody else, but at the same time, though, like, as much as I don't want to pay for every last little thing, because obviously I don't even pay for cable or anything like that, but, cable
Same.
it's not
It
on-
does. It's.
but
yeah.
I'll pay for something that I use and something
Right.
that works, like that ONE FC. Like, if I started following people and got into it,
Yeah.
I'd probably pay for like
Yeah.
a thing for that, I mean, like the WWE Network, I mean, that's that
It's,
one.
it's very useful.
that
By the
one's-
way, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
still use yours.
Everyone's still using
Everyone.
that.
We all do. Devin was
Yeah.
watching it earlier, so
Yeah.
I mean, we all do. Like, but paying for things that
Useful.
work makes sense, and I don't mind doing stuff like that to give back to certain things.
Right.
But at the same time, but if you got it for free, man, we will use it. We will promote the heck out of it and and watch things on it, But
I just see that's the only thing. It's almost as if, not entirely, but it's almost as if Flow's kind of monopolized the viewing of wrestling now because
well,
they almost
They-
have exclusive rights to every big tournament you want to keep up with.
Yeah.
yeah,
And unless you have a Flow subscription, you're SOL pretty
Yeah,
much. Like you don't really
that
get a.
was
You have to.
Their Instagram post.
Yeah, you just have to go
Yeah.
to their Instagram post, which is
And-
98% Austin DeSanta.
oh wow, that was
I
awesome.
mean, yeah.
I mean, but is it wrong? I mean,
No.
Nah,
But
they-
here's the kicker though. Like what I
They're
did
about
to
to
just-
cheat on them though.
Yeah,
They're
but what
about
I
to
did to justify for Flow though is like you get the yearly I mean, well, it's like $12 a month, or you pay for the.
Yeah.
But you pay for all.
$150, I think.
150.
Daily.
All right. Well, what I said is like the Southern Scuffle is a tournament that I would love to go drive through and see. But since I didn't get to drive to and see it, I figured gas, hotel, and tickets for that. That's my yearly. Now
Yeah.
I get to watch the one tournament that I was
Exactly.
planning on going to, and now I get to see everything else they have on it
Yeah.
too. So when you look at it that way, it's kind of
It's-
it
Yeah, for sure.
it pays for itself in its own right.
Plus,
That's why I
if
said
you-
I don't mind like something like flow, but I do think that I think track is on its way.
Yeah.
They show more of the international stuff, but it's good like WWE and WCW or what is that? Those were the two
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Like Bellator and UFC. You know, if track wrestling gets better and gets more stuff, and there's a little bit more of that back and forth, I
Yeah.
can pick either one. Maybe the price on one goes down so
yeah.
that they can help each other out, so people can choose which one they want to watch and get into. So I
What
think,
date
you know,
is Chattanooga going to Gardner Webb?
February 1st. It's a Friday, if I remember correctly. I looked it up today because Mark was talking trash.
Yeah. You down?
Me?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah,
I know
Friday,
that.
February 1st. I think it's February 1st. But yeah, I looked it up earlier. It's Friday, 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So
I
yeah.
still want to try to hit NCAA's this year. They're in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I
I'm
want to see
down.
if I
Dude,
can
Pennsylvania,
check
Penn
out
State.
Penn
Yeah.
We're
Right.
all Iowa. Buy a bunch of Iowa gear.
I thought he was in Michigan.
I am, but still.
Yes.
When you think
but
of
that's
Penn
the
State,
thing.
I was pretty much like the main heated.
I'm going and I'm wearing all my Chattanooga gear if I go. All right, and whichever other T-shirts I have.
Get me.
I'll put them in layers. Whoever's
Yeah.
wrestling that
Right.
match.
Go, go.
I got my Rutgers Sirianos up. Let me pull that one to the top.
Someone's gonna give you a compliment. Man, you look really jacked. No, it's just I'm wearing 19 t-shirts.
Yeah, I'm waiting for whoever I want to be wrestling. I go
Yeah.
scroll through it. Like Spencer Lee's back up. Where's my hot one? Fix is up. Where's my Oklahoma State one?
What do you think he'll finish? Fix.
Fix?
Yeah.
You had him first, didn't you?
I had Siriano first.
Yeah, you
and
did.
then we had Fix listed depending on which weight he went. 'Cause
Yeah.
Remember at the time we picked, we didn't know if he was 35 or 33 or 25.
25.
I had Siriano 33 unless Fix goes there. I think we have that asterisk in there. Unless Fix is there.
I know we
think
did for
Fix is in the mix.
Stevenson.
Stevenson is the
Yeah.
because I had Sam Stoll unless they pull
Which,
Stevenson.
what was the point of redshirting?
If
I don't even know.
Yeah,
Like,
which unless because he got it pulled in the first first
week.
duel.
Yeah, it's like,
Like-
oh, y'all ready for Gable? Yeah, but we just wasted that red shirt. So
Yeah.
thanks.
I mean, it wasn't even a wasted redshirt because you couldn't even say he redshirted because he didn't do it.
Well, yeah.
And, yeah.
But I mean, he was labeled as a red shirt for the beginning of the season, so it's like, come on, really? Like,
What's the point?
then yeah.
Yeah, he could have held that. I don't know.
But I mean, he's looking good this year. He's just looking like a bully.
Yeah.
Marinelli's looking like a bully.
I got that paper somewhere that had our picks on it. I gotta find that paper.
I think I took
somewhere.
a picture of it.
You probably got a picture.
Yeah, I
of it
think I
somewhere.
got a picture of it somewhere.
So, yeah, we had our picks and all that, and that was when I had Iowa. Possibly with
What's going on with Gross?
Gross is like I'm not sure if like he's not gonna be able to get like some sort of medical red shirt.
Yeah.
Like I'd hate for him to wrestle his senior year at 70%.
Yeah.
The
Right.
field is too good
Yeah.
for a
It's
70%
solid.
gross to
Yeah.
try to get in there against a Fix, against a Suriano, against a Sebastian,
Yeah.
Rivera, So, the field is too good for a 70% gross, I would love to see him at 100%. I think you had gross.
Yeah, I think I
You
did
had
have
gross.
first.
You had gross picked for
But
that.
that was before I've seen. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, now getting to see more of the season, I'm a little. That might end up subject to change. Let's see. Cerebral.
Depending on who I watch, like who I get swayed by seeing their stuff,
Yeah.
For me right now, it's still Siriano or Fix at 33.
I hope
So-
Siriano doesn't get it.
You don't like
You don't like
Cerebral?
Siriano?
It's not that I dislike the guy. I just.
It's just that he doesn't like him.
Nah. I remember I was telling you at the International House of Pancakes.
IHOP. For most people, IHOP.
That
Does he always say it the whole
I
way?
don't know. That's the first time I've ever heard him
most
say
of
it.
the time, yeah. Just that I feel like he not necessarily ran from the competition, But I feel
ran
like
from the competition. He was running the competition. Like,
I don't think so. That's the thing is, I think sometimes moving to where you're from, like, cause he's a Jersey boy.
yeah,
I think that's probably what's best for him. I mean, same thing Seth Gross did at Iowa. He was getting in trouble at Iowa.
yeah, I know.
He needed to move back home.
Nah, he did. He
And-
didn't need to be at Iowa.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Sometimes where you're at's not the best fit for you.
Yeah,
So I don't think it was that he's really running. I mean, Bryce Meredith, would you say he ran away from the competition? Because he ran away from Kevin Jack then, and
apparently he couldn't beat him there, and then beat him every time.
yeah, beat him every other time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And also
I
being
think
one of the
sometimes
most well-loved
yeah.
wrestlers.
sometimes you have to move away to do good things, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
And new start's not a bad thing. I mean,
Well, here's the here.
Not
Here's
always.
my argument against that is, hey buddy, you gonna take my picture? Is who is in that room right now that would be beating him out of that spot?
In Penn State?
Mm-hmm.
no.
So what's he really running from?
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
He wasn't happy there, so he left. He made a choice, you know.
yeah, I mean,
now, if it's
that's why I say I don't
different-
dislike him. Like, I don't dislike him. I just,
Yeah. I think like the whole argument of like, you know, being in a tough environment or whichever, not being able to handle it would be different if like that weight was stacked and you
yeah,
know, like
no,
he
I
was-
get that.
you know, say if he was at Iowa and then transferred out, you
Yeah.
know, like, hey, with the guys like
Yeah.
DeSanto coming in,
Yeah.
Spencer Lee being there, what if he ever went up and, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah, I
that
got
argument makes more sense, but
Then he did take the picture.
he probably
He
did that.
just took it down.
As I move.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that's one thing, and
I
to
get-
think
I
about it,
get
just
that.
imagine if he would have stayed at Penn State, because that's one thing they've been lacking was a solid 125er,
Yeah.
a solid one, which they've kind of got a solid 133 now. If he would have stayed,
Yeah.
I mean that lineup would be from top to bottom stacked.
Yeah.
There would have been. I mean, then again, you also don't know how like him being unhappy would he have been as effective on the mat too. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I get you.
He's an interesting dude, like, you know, and it's also interesting. Flo is also interesting in that case, like who they choose to showcase and who they do their stuff on, whether it be DeSanto or not.
Or now we're in Riviera,
Yeah.
according to.
But
Yeah, nah,
yeah,
that's
but when
that's
you-
their next guy, I bet.
but when you get that insight on some of those guys, it's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
kind
very
of
helpful.
it adds to the stories of the character of somebody.
Yeah.
You know, which just draws that human interest element in. And dude, what are you doing? All right, you make his belly grow bigger. All right, so, but just adds to that human element and
Yeah.
the interest of
Yeah.
things. And you know, I think the storylines which sell things. You know, it gives people a chance to sell a promo for themselves. You know.
Get that 15 minutes fame.
Yeah. Or yeah, hey, like the whole promo bit too. They're like, they're willing to talk in front of the camera and sell it.
Yeah.
Then it makes it easy for them. Flows. Hey, this guy will talk to me. Why not? I'll go film this guy. I'm not gonna go force somebody who doesn't want to talk to me
Yeah.
at each time to go and try to do it over and over. You know, like Demetrius Johnson or anything like
I
that.
mean, the thing is, though, I'm not saying they need to force Demetrius Johnson to talk to them. I'm saying they need to promote the man better. That's all. That's all.
Part of promotion is promo.
How much
promo.
better
I mean-
can they have promoted him when they had him?
I don't think they were excited about him enough, is what I mean. Like,
I think
Now-
they were on fire
Yeah,
about
as
him.
far
But
as-
when he chose not to, like, you know.
I mean, when I say, like, the way Dana talks about some other guys,
Homer.
I didn't think he talked about Demetrius Johnson that way enough. That was all.
Which is really
But
interesting because every
then
time they
again,
did talk
I-
about him, they said nothing but positive things about him.
No, I'm not saying they said negative things about him. They just didn't. There wasn't enough excitement behind it. It's like, oh yeah, well, guy's on a 11, 12 fight win streak. He's can do everything, but
Yeah.
But
Right.
sell a good promo.
But-
that's why you sell the promo for him.
But when he says stuff like, you know, and I'm just a casual, and I'm pretty sure I remember hearing him say something like, yeah, he doesn't want to be the headline fight because he doesn't want to be the reason why a card fails.
Yeah, but the thing about that
so
is,
you,
though,
not only
is-
did you not sell yourself, you, like, went the
yeah,
exact
you
opposite way.
did the opposite, and
So, you know, like, UFC maybe being smart enough just to do what they did with him
Possibly.
was probably smarter than putting another camera in his face and trying to.
Yeah,
prove
no,
him
I
more.
get you. I get you.
'Cause
I
maybe
just,
he could have like ruined his career more. Or, I mean, if you could say he ruined his career, I mean, the dude's got an amazing career, but
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, the thing is though, it's how many people want to hear this when they put a microphone in someone's face? Is like, oh, I don't care. You know, what's your next move? Oh, I don't care. Just whoever they put in front of me. Do you want to hear that, or do you want to hear someone go on some rant like DC or like
well, I mean, now at the same
That's
time,
the thing. That appeals to
most people?
it appeals. Whoa, leave that one up there. That's our mic over there, buddy. All right. So that appeals to people for in a way that's great for some
as
tickets.
far as-
But what you have to realize that you're in a position of what do you want? If that's the way you want to be, like, then you need to learn how to sell it and say, hey, I'm ready to roll with whoever you want to put in front of me next.
Yeah.
Not you kind of
I think
still
that
you
guy
have-
is just as important as the guy who will say, well, Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I worked for. So,
You know,
I
I think it's just the way he said it, and he just wasn't
yeah.
savvy enough or didn't have the right people around him to say, hey, if that's who you are and you don't care who they put in front of you next, when you say it, you
Then
have to
you
say
you
it
can
with
say it in a
you gotta
way
say a way of like instead of
Well,
like
whoever the UFC, Dana White and Sean Shelby says is next versus
It's like you
Oh,
put
whoever-
anyone in front of
and
me,
I'll
I'll
beat
put
them.
them. Yeah, I'll
I'll,
beat
you
them.
line
Like,
them
yeah,
up and I'll wipe the division out. But he'd
Forward
already
line and I'll
done
slap
that.
the head off all of you dopes. Like that, like Becky Lynch.
But I'll
Okay,
say, is
Becky.
that a Becky Lynch? Did I hear that
that's
right from your,
definitely
from your
Becky
thing?
Lynch.
See,
So-
y'all recognized it because it's memorable. It's a memorable
mean,
line.
Yeah,
But it says
is.
the same thing. I'll fight anybody.
Yeah,
The
and
same
so,
way.
I mean,
It's just a more interesting way of saying it.
get what you're saying.
The fact that y'all knew that like, right off the bat made me really
Well,
happy.
Because
Part of your episode
Becky's the man.
Well, I'm gonna pretend like you actually watched. And
Becky's the man. You
Becky
gotta-
is. I mean, that's her nickname, the man. See, that's hilarious though. She's a woman and she comes in there and she says, "Hey, I'm the man." Like last night, she called out John Cena on TV.
Yeah.
He was out there talking and she was like, "I want your spot," and she's like,
Yeah.
"That's part of the reason I'm doing this. What do you want to do about it?" And I'm just like, "What?" Yeah, like,
I agree.
can we allow this to happen? I would love that.
So I think we're in agreement that like you still have to be able to sell your own promo.
Yeah.
It's part of what you do. The business will do what's best for business. Bottom line.
I don't know, because that's what WWE says, and it looked like they were on the downward slide.
Well,
for a
that's
while.
because they're not in touch with their audience.
That's true.
Now,
The
they-
UFC,
but-
you have no choice to be but be in touch with your audience because
Yeah.
you know a lot of
Yeah,
people
I
don't
mean-
realize that like Vince for a while didn't know what a burrito was. Honestly, like he didn't. He was so out of the loop. Nowadays, with the UFC, they can go on Instagram, they can look at their comments and be like, hey, a lot
Yeah.
of people are talking about this Zabit guy. Why don't we try to get him another fight real quick? Or Israel
Yeah.
Adesanya, Stylebender. Like Stylebender got super popular real quick.
Dude, yeah. And if you don't know who Stylebender is, look him up. Dude can fight.
Yeah, he's fighting Anderson Silva next.
Yeah.
Like that's a cool fight.
He's got
because
the
it's
look.
like it's for the casual
Yeah.
fan who knows who Anderson Silva
Yeah.
is.
Bingo.
But it's the new guy as well. It's
Yeah.
So that's
But
who
see,
that,
that's
so
what-
now I have the draw of like, hey, I can
Yeah.
look at Anderson Silva who he's fighting because I know
Yeah.
who he was, even though he's past his prime in a way.
No, he's certainly past this fight.
Yeah.
well,
They-
he's working his way up. If he wins this, he's in line for a title
You
shot.
think they're gonna give him a title shot if
Yeah.
he wins this fight?
He's gonna break his other leg.
Yeah, right.
No, he's in line for it. Like he's fought his way. He's fought his way
Fighting
back
way out of here.
But I mean, it's the thing. It's,
They're not gonna give
you
him a
now
title
have
shot.
something because casuals they think of when they hear. And I'm gonna take one of you. The GOAT conversation. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna hear Anderson Silva in that conversation.
Well,
Is that my
you should.
conversation or Quad's
No,
conversation?
His conversation.
Okay, I thought you said me. I was
Well,
like, I don't
no,
call everybody the
You know,
goat.
Bob
Goat.
Black Sheep up here. Like,
GOAT is a categorical thing for me. It's not like I see someone and I
which
say,
we did lose a true GOAT today. Mean Gene Okerlund.
Oh
So,
yeah, you told me that.
Yeah,
That's
That's
Greatest
the way.
of all time. How do we categorize that?
because it's like a conversation piece. It's like
No, I'm trying to think of a way to how to change the wording. Like instead of greatest of all time, like category of all time. You know, like I don't know.
But no, I mean when you think of best MMA fighters of all time,
yeah,
Anderson Silva is gonna be in your
is
top
in the
5
GOAT conversation
because of what he did, how impressive he was, how long he stayed. You know.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I'll
It's-
give you that. Yeah.
It's I mean it's a no-brainer. So you hear the casual fan, they're like, oh, Anderson Silva. They don't know that he's been on the backward side of his career. But now you have this new guy who you're wanting to
and he's
promote.
popped a bunch of times too.
And he's some of
Well,
them
not a
he's gotten
bunch,
away
but-
with.
I don't know. Like I think the casual fan can get who a goat is. The casual fan almost
No, I mean, but they know the name.
They
Because
know
it's been
Anderson
promoted.
Silva.
Yeah.
They don't know
Everybody
John
knows-
Jones.
Mhm.
But they don't
Everybody-
know the new guy. They
Yeah,
don't know
they
that
don't
new
know.
lion.
No,
coming
yeah.
up. So when they see
Which-
the new lion that they want to promote, it's like, man, he beat Anderson.
Now
He's-
here's the kicker though. Should the casual fan shouldn't
Crash.
be
He's-
shouldn't be responsible for having to know who the new guy is. Like new guys can't
No.
be called the GOAT because they haven't been around long.
No,
enough.
and I'm
the
not saying
casual
he's the
fan
GOAT.
should be able to say who a GOAT is.
No, I'm just saying
Yeah,
if
you
you
know,
want
I
to,
get what you're saying.
Because
if you
the
want-
GOAT should
yeah.
transcend casual peers to everybody. It's the
Yeah.
greatest of all time.
No, and
Like,
absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that Stylebender's the new GOAT. I'm just saying if the UFC's wanting to invest in him because he is an interesting guy,
He talks
yeah,
trash.
he is. He's exciting to watch, and if you want that to be your next big guy, and he already appeals to the purist, why not put him in there with some of the casuals love, and that the casuals view as one of these top guys, so he can dethrone him, and
And
then
then the
now
casual
there you-
will
and then now
will
he's
love or
probably-
hate him, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
but we'll still follow him either way.
yeah, and then now you have a new guy to build your company around.
Yeah.
It's something that they've lacked doing because as much as I love Conor, they put so much emphasis on Conor is that they haven't,
And see, that's what that's what we were talking about earlier, and that's the problem with the UFC is like, yeah, they can do that, but how do you get the casual fan to watch and see all that
Yeah.
stuff? It's the advertising things. You said it just a minute ago about the WWE. I said, business is going to do what's best for
Mm-hmm.
business, and you said, well, WWE doesn't always do that or whatnot. But that's just like a trend and flow thing. Like
Yeah.
they're people that are in the
Well,
office
nah,
making the
'cause they'll
promotions.
give us
you know.
WWE pushes Roman Reigns.
well, he's got leukemia now.
yeah,
so they
well
don't-
now, so they don't.
But
now,
they try. But what it is, they're just trying what they think is best for business until they find out what happens with crowd, and then they play off of that stuff.
No, they didn't.
Huh?
They didn't.
Who?
Roman. Everybody booed.
Oh yeah, no,
and
he was the guy
was still
from the
their
get go
guy.
because
Yeah.
who he came from. He came
Yeah.
from.
But who he came from and stuff like this. But you guys also have to realize that the audience of the WWE is much deeper than just the purist and
Right.
people that watch it. You know who he sells for, even though the people that afford to buy the tickets and all they're older, like that younger generation of kids, all loved him. The sales
Yeah.
of toys
That's
and
true.
everything else. So
Yeah.
what you guys forget, and the only reason why I see it is because as a dad, I have the kid, and I can
Yeah,
see it.
kids.
There's a whole separate line of stuff. How
Oh,
many
absolutely.
WWE toys as who you are with the thing do you go out and buy?
Now, none.
None. Okay. So
Actually, all of
when
them.
when they're huh?
Low key, all of them.
All of them.
I've got a secret stash.
I'm gonna
Big
go.
brother.
I still do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a few to actually add in.
Yeah, but there's a few that you look for.
'Cause I
But
don't
the
have
kids
Becky.
though that are doing all this and like
Yeah.
when they're looking at what's best for business, they don't care if they're getting booed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the people are still buying the tickets.
Yeah.
All right,
that's-
and then the
makes
merch
sense.
is still selling.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
still going. So until our revenue starts taking a hit, hey, we're gonna push this dude. You know,
And that's what they. But the thing is,
and then eventually the storyline
Yeah.
does change, and it comes around, and then
well,
everybody gets
the thing
happy
with
again
Roman
for like
is
a year or
that
two,
people
and
did.
then
like
it changes again, and nobody likes
Like,
it again, and then
People didn't like him
Roman,
until
yeah,
they-
they liked him at first, but then when they started, they're like, "Oh, you like him? Well, let's make everything about." Him. That's the thing. It's,
Yeah.
they made everything about him, and you're just kind of like, "Okay."
it's
the older
because he
you
sold
get-
himself, and then and it
Well,
was there.
He sold himself in the. Well, he didn't sell it. The group he was with,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they loved it, and then they just loved what he did at the end. He'd come in and spear people.
yeah.
Well, after that kind of wears off. I mean, because even like you had what's his name, just recently got arrested for like pedophilia or whatever. James Ellsworth. Everyone loved him because he was some
He
skinny.
what?
Yeah. Apparently, nasty text to 14-year-olds. But for a while, he was a popular guy because it was a joke actually. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh, this is kind of funny," and the problem is that it got him a contract. There was nothing he could do. He was super out of shape. He was
Yeah.
never going to be a star.
He was
But he got a
hideous.
WWE title
He
match
didn't
just
have a
because.
chin.
Yeah, he literally had no chin.
Do you know what he looks like?
Yeah,
He's the
because
one
he
with
was the one dude
Vince
with
McMahon.
Carmella.
Yeah.
That's what he was with for the
Oh
long
my
time. Yeah.
gosh,
That was so
so
horrible.
stupid.
Yeah.
That was so
But see, that's the thing. Like the WWE can make those
WD-40.
mistakes because they'll,
Oh, yeah.
because their
But they're
whole
also
show
the
is
only, they're the only show in town as well.
their whole but their whole show cycles though. Like I
It
mean,
is.
it goes through years where it's actually good,
Mhm.
and then where it's really
90s.
not good, and then it cycles back around. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just
eventually.
it just kind of, and then those of us that all watch the kids, I don't care who you are. I think everybody still kind of watches it, keeps an eye on
Yeah.
it if you
Yeah.
can, and then it gets good again, and then you kind of like watch it a little bit more. Then it starts to get bad again.
Well,
and
it's
you
like
feel
you
off.
think about it. In the '90s, what was one of the coolest things of the '90s? especially in wrestling.
You gonna say DX?
Well, there's one of them. I was gonna say NWO, same thing.
Stone Cold.
It was the anti-hero, the against
Yeah.
the grain. Like everyone thought that was cool
Well,
because
see,
it was
and
counterculture at
it's,
the time.
Well, and it's still always cool. Like you always
It
want to
is,
cheer
yeah.
for the bad guy.
Yeah.
It is, but I mean back then it was like that new.
So
It was a
that's what they actually called
counterculture
it.
because it was something new. Like you
It was the
didn't-
first time, like I guess they
Yeah.
were like advertising it that
Yeah.
way.
Like the
Yeah.
'90s, you had grunge and everything was against like the man, I guess, which
Yeah.
has always
I
been
mean,
around.
You
But
got Stone Cold.
yeah, you got Stone Cold stunning his balls. Like how many people wanted to go in there and slap their
Actually
balls
slap
and
their
drink
balls.
beer over him while he's
Yeah.
like everyone wanted to do that, but
Yeah.
no one had the courage to actually do it. Not saying you should because that's a terrible idea. You'll catch
No,
yourself.
it's-
go to work,
It's
slap
the
your
thing
balls.
that you think about in your head all the time.
Yeah, and
you're
like,
it's the whole
oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like everybody wants to win the lottery, walk into their job, and say, "Deuces, I'm out."
I'm outie.
You know, but everybody who like anybody who has any common sense or is
Yeah,
a good person
you
will be
know
like,
what you're
"I
not
want it. You got 2 weeks. I'm out." You know, what I mean, you do the right thing. You know.
I'll help you find my replacement, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but
That's
like, but
about it.
everybody has to do it the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants that, you know.
But you
I
get
sort of to like TV stuff. Like everybody wants to run that brick through the window and destroy something in the chair, but you don't because you got to clean it up.
Right.
You know, I mean, like you don't. You know, that's why
And
what
see-
makes TV and movies and all that appealing.
that's
like,
what
they
that's
get
what
to
people
do
like
all that.
about Connor. It's like everyone loves that trash talk because they know they don't have the courage to do that.
Right.
And then speaking of cleaning stuff up, I don't think he cleaned his mess up honestly, but that's beside the point.
Nah, he didn't.
That's beside it. But no, I
That's
mean
why
he's
Thug
exactly what
Rose is
people.
still scared to
It's
fight.
the same thing in the '90s. Is people see Connor and they're like, I wish I could be that courageous, that brave, that cocky, and get
Yeah.
away with it because they know they could get smacked. But the thing
See,
is,
there's
he
a
also
difference
backs it
between
up.
getting away with it and actually like
Yeah,
doing
he-
something. Like, and he's in a profession where that's
Where
what you
he
do.
says,
and
I'm
yes.
gonna knock you out, and then he
But,
knocks
can
but
do
you
for
it,
out.
yeah.
people, it's entertaining because it's like that.
Yeah.
It's something bigger than what they are,
Yeah.
and whether you like Connor or not,
And
you
whether
can't
that's
admit
and
he's bigger
whether
than
whether that's you know
Yeah.
WWE, whether it's UFC or you know I mean
sports, for instance,
sports.
like
Or
sports
like in
teams.
wrestling, like we promote it like, hey, we get to pick somebody up and drop them on their head.
Yeah, I mean that's
and
super
we
cool.
get to entertained by it and everything else.
It's
So.
something you.
Speaking of which, there was a promo that Mike Mal had for a basketball thing, not basketball, but for wrestling.
Oh, I was
And
gonna
he
say
goes,
basketball.
no,
can't
I
remember
know.
what
I
it
loved how the start of it was like, you know, you see a basketball game, people get a little chippy and they start pushing each other, and that's where it ends. That's where wrestling starts.
was. Yeah,
You know, I was
That's
like,
true,
oh
though.
god, it's
that
so
is where it
awesome.
starts. Because
Yeah,
literally,
that's
what
beautiful.
to begin a wrestling match, what do you have to do? You have to touch that.
That's where you
have
start.
to get in that
And I
personal
was watching
space.
this thing where like
That's
it was,
great.
it was like dunks and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and I was like, okay, dunking is cool and it's all this kind of stuff, and I can't do it. I won't lie. Okay, I used to be able to like palm the backboard, but that's about
Yeah.
as close as I got to it. Okay?
I don't think I've ever
So,
been anywhere that close.
you know. Any which way,
So-
but like so the dunk, and you see the people get all hype and they're like, oh, and stand over and like
Yeah.
you think you're big. You dunked a ball over somebody, like, and now you think you're the biggest, baddest person in the
Yeah.
world. Like,
No, you
no,
headlock
wrestling,
somebody,
you
flat
pick them
back
up and you dunk them, and that's when you get to.
That's
be
when
like,
you get
"Oh,"
because
know?
you just physically dominate.
Or
you
you
know.
can just do them like that and cradle them.
Yeah,
Or you
and-
can just,
you know,
if you're like Zane Rutherford or Noel,
You hit
or-
Penn State.
or yeah, if you're just
I'm just gonna
anyone
start
from Penn
calling-
State in the
yeah.
semifinals, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. 4 cradles for the wins in the semis.
It's
That's
crazy.
ludicrous.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are still with us today, right now,
'Cause I just realized
and
we are.
we have gone all over the board, and I love how we still always find a way to bring it back to wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that it's just like, and this is truly our daily life conversations.
It
It
really
somehow
is.
always comes back to wrestling.
Yeah.
You know,
always.
whether it just annoys the tar out of,
I was gonna say, I'm
Other
about to
people
scroll
around
through
us or
our
not, like,
conversations.
you know,
Yeah.
like just
I don't get it.
at school, yeah, with the wife, with anybody else, you know, like it always comes back to wrestling. And that is another reason why I love doing this show, like being able to
Yeah.
share our nonsense with everybody out there. And hopefully it's not nonsense because like those of you that are watching and or listening, you
in
know,
my mind, it's easy
you know.
to follow. Like in my mind.
Yeah,
everything
exactly, right? You know, it's
transitions
kinda-
well and-
you know, everybody's like, yeah, we started listening and following because it says Cerebus Wrestling, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, we always find a way to come back to it. So I don't know. We're about an hour.
Yeah,
Tonight's
that's-
finals matchups,
At 7.
7.
Oh, do you want to talk
Um,
about that briefly?
I was gonna say, let's
I'll be
go
at
through.
work, This sucks.
Because we are.
Let's just go through and see. All right, 125. Let's go ahead and let's do this real quick. We'll make some picks. We got to make picks. We got Quasi here. We're gonna make some picks and which one we think.
Do y'all want to write them down?
Huh?
Y'all want to write these down? Cool.
Snag a piece of paper from down there. I gotta use that for something.
Dad,
Later.
can
Oh, here we
you
go.
pick me up?
Do I need to pick you up?
Oh, pick me up.
Okay.
Let's get you up.
Let's see.
All right. Let's see, and we'll keep track of this and see what's going on.
No, even more, Daddy.
Even more. Are you gonna make picks 200? There you go. You're up in here now. Okay.
You say even more.
Even more. Yes, they're demanding.
Okay, so we got 125.
125. We got Piccinini and Montoya. I got
Even
Piccinini.
more.
Same.
Yeah, he's been
more.
looking hot this tournament.
Then we got.
We'll say other stuff.
No, I mean, but no, Piccinini. I mean, that's.
Piccinini's looking
yeah,
great.
unanimous.
He's one that I don't know why we don't talk about more when we talk about 125.
Yeah.
I want to say Gomez just because he's been upsetting everybody,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to because
Because you're a bandwagon.
It's
Huh?
fixed.
Because it's Oklahoma State. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Who you got?
I'll go fix.
Fix? Oh
Yeah.
man,
I mean, I won't be surprised either way.
I'm gonna say Fix too, just being realistic. But I mean, Gomez is gonna get
Gomez
a good
is
fight.
gonna go for broke at one
Yeah.
point in the match, and if he catches it, it could work, but probably not because Fix is, as his Twitter handle is, greatest of all time. I think right now.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's like
No,
greatest ever. Greatest
no, it's not greatest of all time. Is it or is
It's
it like
greatest ever.
greatest ever?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See, like I like it because he changed it up from the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's not the greatest of all time. He's
It's
the greatest
ever.
ever. Huh?
What's the difference?
Huh?
What's the difference of all time ever?
I don't know. One's not a GOAT.
I like Austin Aries' his nickname in wrestling. His was always the greatest man who ever lived. Like he just flat
Yeah.
out the greatest man who
I'm
ever
gonna have to
not
figure out
sport,
something.
not
GE. I'm gonna go GE. Greatest ever.
greatest ever.
All right.
That's legendary.
41.
Nick Lee and Woods from Stanford.
I don't believe in Nick Lee.
Neither do I. I got Woods.
I'm gonna go with Woods solely because it's Nick Lee.
I hate all of you because I was gonna say the same thing.
Woods.
Why not? One of these I'm gonna have to change up, and it's gonna bite me just because I want to come out with the winning group, and if everybody has the same.
Yeah.
Although it would be funny if that's how we all picked it out. Oh, G Feller. Okay, sorry. G Feller. I am in love with how G Feller has been wrestling this year. He's a dude that's not a starter at Oklahoma State. Who is it? Somebody's hurt at his weight, and G Feller's been filling in and looking like he has been on fire.
Yeah.
He was a red shirt that wrestled this tournament last year. I think won it last year, maybe against Nick Lee or something like that, or he put Nick Lee out. I don't know, but I am all about G.
Yeah, I got G Feller.
I am on that G Feller bandwagon.
You got
right
G
now.
Feller too.
Mhm.
See, the sad thing is like
I
some of
mean-
these are good matchups, but literally there's an obvious winner to all of these. Oh, not that. There we go. All right, Nolf, Pfeiffer.
No.
Nolf. Do you want to pick against Nolf?
Yes.
Hey,
Put me down for Pfeiffer.
All right.
really?
No, I mean, 'cause, like, I mean, I
Okay.
want you to write it down, but like, can you say I'm serious? No.
I didn't think.
But
so.
if you write it down and some freak thing happens, I'll be nuts. Or
I'm
like,
a
I told
genius.
you.
Okay, we got Marsteller versus Joseph. I'm not picking Joseph.
I'm going Marsteller.
Thank you.
No, Marsteller's looking good, and Marsteller beat Chandler, and the way Marsteller's wrestling right now. Also, Marsteller's body frame is different than
Then everyone else.
everyone else. Like, do you see like how stocky
Yeah.
he is? Like, I don't think that
Joseph.
Joseph can hit that low inside trip on somebody as short as stocky
I get it.
as Marsteller. So I think Marsteller is like a legit.
74. I mean, really. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna go opposite from what y'all think. I'm gonna pick Smith.
Hmm?
I'm gonna go Smith. Just one, to be different, and two, just I know I said Mark Hall in there, but I kind of just want to be different right now. But that's gonna be a good one.
Oh.
Mark Hall. I mean,
Gosh, do I?
It's hard for me to pick against Penn State.
yeah,
guys.
it is.
It is.
It's
Now,
hard.
my only thing is right now is like, is my choice for Smith one based off of like I've been on in
Okie State.
Okie State bandwagon on this, not bandwagon. I've always liked Okie State, but
Yeah.
like on all my picks so far, or
Or do you go with?
do I go with like what I
The
said?
surefire,
What I
pretty
said
much.
before, like unless it's
Zahid.
Zahid, like I don't know why I would choose
Yeah.
against him, but the fact that it's also
I'll
John.
pick him against the Heat too.
Huh?
I'll pick Mark against the Heat.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be mad at you. Like, no lie, I wouldn't be mad at you. It could happen. I'm gonna go with Joe Smith just because it's John Smith's son, and you know, why not?
I mean,
Finals. This is gonna be an interesting one. But I say it's gonna be interesting, but
I got
really.
received by Cradle.
Yeah.
Go ahead and throw that in there. By Cradle. Oh, my battery's
Same.
down here. Okay.
Same.
second period.
Oh, you're going second period? All right, if we all pick Rashid, we have to pick which period for the Cradle. He's got second period.
What do you got?
I got first period.
I got
Cradle.
first.
Well, you got first. Give me third then. Like,
Oh.
I picked it just because I figured you two would get first.
all right, give me third period then. If he's taking first,
Thirst.
Thirst.
I
I mean, we
could
gotta
have
have some.
picked Bowling for
we gotta have
ACC. Get some ACC love in here, but
Who loves ACC?
I do.
But why?
Because I mean, it's only Big Ten, man.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pick against Nickel. I dare you.
He's not Vincenzo. No. Nick.
No.
What's
Bickle.
with the Chenzo hate, man? I don't get it.
I just don't. I don't like him.
No Bickle.
No Bickle.
That's his
Instagram handle.
His Instagram handle.
Really?
Yeah.
I follow him. I didn't even notice that.
You gotta stalk his page more.
Right? I do it.
I figured it'd be like
Oh, this
no,
is gonna-
no pickles or something like that.
I want to pick Kassar or White,
Oh.
because this is gonna be a good one.
All right, so let's
I don't
see.
want to
So
pick against
White.
Penn State, but
Okay, this is my deal with this one. I'm gonna put White down, even though I think Kassar wins, just because I haven't picked against Oklahoma State yet. So I'm gonna stick with that train of thought. But if Kassar has been handling Nelson the way everybody says he has in the room and at some other wrestle-offs, and White only beat Nelson by like 2 points,
Neville's.
Neville's, yeah.
close enough. We know
Yeah.
what you meant.
I was confused. I was like, wait,
Sorry.
what?
Yeah, but
Because
Kassar's been beating Neville's the whole time apparently without problem, and
Yeah.
White just beat him. I think Kassar will handle both, but I'm gonna go with White just because
All right.
I want to see my dream of like Okie State winning, beating Penn State in something,
Sorry.
even if it is the Southern Scuffle.
You got White?
No.
No. Kassar.
Yeah.
We got a little Penn State guy over here.
I mean, I can't really.
Again,
Really?
like I said, you can't be mad at him for his
No, I mean,
his Penn State picks.
I gotta go Kassar too. Honestly, I'm a fan of him.
Like I said, I would pick him if I didn't already have that many Oklahoma State guys. I'm
Yeah.
like, why not? I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to say, with all those wins, Okie State could come out on top. I mean, but they all have to win in order for it to happen. So,
Well, what's really gonna,
I mean, because
throw a
look at
wrench
it.
is
I
you
mean, 1, 2, 3, 4,
got
5. So if I get 5 guys to win the finals, you know, whereas 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, dadgummit, they'd still have like, you know, they could still do it too. So
Yeah.
so
Saints
they
just got
we would
too
need
deep.
I would need for Vincenzo to lose.
I need y'all to believe in this guy.
I'm not gonna believe in him.
Why?
Hall would have to lose, which is very kind of unlikely in my thinking. You know, in this case, we only got Rashid. So the 2 weak spots. Forgive me, they're not weak spots. Like the 2 spots where it could happen would be Hall and Vincenzo. Hall's not. I mean, they're not either weak spots.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, to not
Really, you don't think White can beat Kassar?
huh?
You don't think White could beat Kassar? I mean, that's a
I got him picked, don't I?
no, but you just said those would be the 2 weak spots where Penn State could. I genuinely think,
I think
White
that
White Kassar is a toss up for me, honestly.
tonight will be fun to watch to see how Kassar does with somebody as big as White.
Yeah.
But then again, he's been wrestling in the room with
Kassar is a beast.
Neville's, who's a
He's
big dude. So
Strong, but still, I mean, White's no slouch either.
Yeah.
So I mean, White's a little bit bigger. I think bigger, more technical version of Neville.
I like White. So
I do
I
too.
mean, but Kassar's looking freakish. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
And we have ran this episode long.
Hey, for the birthday episode,
Yeah.
not a bad deal. And the first time with Be Heard himself on here.
I've been saying I was gonna come and then I just.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were worried you were gonna like no show.
Yeah,
us,
we
right?
did.
Really?
We weren't sure.
We
yeah.
were sitting there like, you just want to eat the wings and watch the
Thing,
scuffle
well,
until he tells us if he's coming or not.
Nah, SEC was taking a little while. Then I ran into my advisor, and
All right.
she
Okay.
asked me about break and next semester, and I'm
Cool.
like, I'm not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
next
It's
semester.
still you got the scuffle
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Midland's just in like
Yeah.
I'm not
thinking about class.
I'm not there mentally.
All right. Well, I think that's it for today. We'll see who comes out on top on this one, and then we'll have the updates.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys. And
And
no
see-
too sweet from you two for the end of it or whichever. Like
Oh,
that.
of course. Wait, no.
Yeah, there you
Too
go, buddy.
sweet.
Bye bye.